All right, so we're going to switch gears here. We're going to get into our segment, and we're gonna start doing this a little more regularly. We've got a snake draft, and Timmy, don't be scared. They spit sometimes, and sometimes the snake draft will choke you. But this week we're going to be talking about Halloween candy because, as we know, Halloween is just a few short weeks away. But as we do that, we're going to bring in a special guest here, and he's being admitted into the Two Dude One Dad studios as we speak. He doesn't realize that we're live. He doesn't realize probably that we're recording. But cameraman Mike, he's been around before. He's coming back again now. Cameraman Mike is joining us for this snake draft. Real quick, you're on the spot, cameraman Mike. What's your least favorite animal that you want to see in the wild?
Least favorite animal?
Yeah, like what you're afraid of.
Oh, that I don't want to come across.
Yeah.
I'd say a mama grizzly bear.
Oh, man, we went deep wild. I love that.
So speaking of things they tell you when you're like young, like we were talking about running zigzags with alligators, as we know, I was born in Alaska. What they tell you to do when you come across a grizzly bear, or any bear for that matter, is get big and like act like you're the biggest person in the world, and it's supposed to scare them. And they told that to first graders. So I don't care how big I'm gonna get as a first grader, that grizzly bear is still gonna eat the shit out of me.
Well, so I recently went out west, and if you're a fan of the podcast in our first season, you know that because I've spent some time getting broke backed, and that's a weird way to say that, but I went out west. I heard that if it's black, fight back.
Yes.
If it's brown, get down. So that would be a grizzly. And if it's white, good night. You're out. You're out of luck.
Right. Because black bears will just eat the shit out of you, no matter what. So you have to fight.
Right.
Black bears, if they're not attacking you to eat you. They're attacking you because they're threatened. Brown bears. They're threatened, or you got near their cubs.
They're cubs.
So
the cameraman Mike was right to say a mama grizzly bear.
Yeah. So if they think you're dead, they're going to leave you alone. Polar bears are just maybe the most deadly creation alive.
Yeah. Other than O.J. Simpson. Anyway, so let's get into our snake draft. Halloween candy. And cameraman Mike is joining us. I could not be more thrilled to have a guest in the living room with us here. Cameraman Mike, you're familiar with how drafts work. You're familiar with Halloween candy. Are you excited about taking us to task on whose candy batch is better here?
Well, guys, first of all, I'm honored to join the pod for my first time. Hopefully, I get invited back. I feel like I was in the green room for a little bit, waiting for the.
Kept you in there for a while.
hey, I like it though. There was cold beer. I was watching some golf, so it's all good.
Did we send some girls into the green room to keep you warm? Did they make it in there?
Good company, yes. Good company as always.
Okay. So we of course, as any podcast would, when you have guests on, you do a new segment, you would talk about these things prior to going live and recording. We have not done that. So we don't yet know how we're going to decide the draft here, the draft order. If we were decent people, we'd give our guests the first pick, but we're not decent people.
Yeah.
So how do we want
I think we should go, since the four of us are all in a fantasy football league together, maybe we should go in order of the current fantasy football standings.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Let me check the standings before I agree to that.
No, I like that because it's organic, and no one. I mean, I know I'm in first out of us four.
That's why
Yeah,
you like it. You...
It's going to put you in third place, RC.
Okay.
But keep in mind, this is just to decide. Like, if I have the first pick, I get to decide where I pick. Not
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to go Timmy, cameraman Mike, RC, and then me.
Let's do that.
All right.
All right.
What do you want to pick?
I want to pick.
Hey, real quick, who's also in last place? Can we just give them a shout out? I mean, they might. They're probably fantasy football experts. Those who don't, those who can't play, do. Our coach or whatever that saying is. Anyway, let's. So here we go.
Quite the rivalry here.
Timmy, go first. What spot do you want to pick in? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
All right. Based off of my knowledge of you three, I think I can get my 1A at number 4. So I'm gonna take the 4th pick. I'm gonna go
which is a good move to double back 4-5.
Yeah, that's gonna be my move.
Okay, cameraman Mike.
I'm taking the number 1 pick here.
Oh, I love it. Get out there early. Get your guy. If he's on the board, go get him.
Yep.
I'll send you an email later, John Gruden style there, cameraman Mike. I don't want 2 or 3. That was literally going into this. I was like, as long as I don't get 2 or 3, I'm fine. So I'm gonna go 2 because that's the number I often do in my pants.
All right, guys. I guess I'll take 3 if I have to. Let's do this.
All right.
So just let everybody know the rules. Timmy, do you wanna expand upon the rules here or what we're doing?
Yeah. So snake draft, best Halloween candies. This is not best candies. This is because there are some candies that you eat in Easter that you never see during Halloween. Christmas candies. We're talking about things that you're gonna go out and get while you're trick or treating. Don't mention other picks before they're like if you're in between a couple, don't mention them.
Don't mention them.
Keep your own pick, and then you know what? It's up to you whether you want to be. Are you trying to pick your own, or are you because we're gonna put this up for a fan vote at the end. So don't you can decide if you want to pander, or if you want to stay true to your heart. Sometimes they'll mix and match. We'll see how it goes.
Weird. I know that at least the 3 of us are all panderers. So, and then also this is a 5-round snake draft.
Yep.
I do want to hear at the end of this, just be thinking about this, fellas. I do want to talk briefly, like have a little round table about our favorite Halloween memories, our favorite Halloween traditions, and our least favorite. Okay, and then we'll so with some.
And then also, we'll do some honorable mentions of candies that weren't selected, but we're up there.
And then lastly, we'll close with some weekend talk. What are we looking forward to this weekend? If Timmy mentioned voting who the best is, you got to follow us at 2 Dudes 1 Dad Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, 2 Dude 1 Dad Pod on Twitter, and we'll also announce some new things we got coming in the pipeline. We've got a lot of big time changes that we're excited about in the future, and hopefully in the future, cameraman Mike will grace us with his presence one more time. So let's get started. Mike, you are first pick.
All right. I'm not an idiot. This is Halloween number 1 Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Oh, I mean, that's like taking LeBron James right off the bat. Like you're getting the guy.
They're gonna carry me to a championship right away.
I love it, but I hate it for me.
Okay.
So honestly, not my favorite candy. I know I'm in the minority there. It's good. It's peanut butter. It's chocolate. On paper, it's delicious. But to me, there's a lot of better things out there. And I knew someone would take it top 3, and that's why I took the 4th pick.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say. So this is the classic example of taking a good player in a bad situation, bad roster, because the peanut butter cups they need a specific environment to thrive. And I don't think it's in a bag or it's in a like a bowl sloshing around, with hands in there. Heat doesn't do these cups well. I'm just gonna say that. So with the
hey, when you're from Ohio, it's cold out during Halloween, so it's not 80 degrees and you got chocolate melting everywhere. So
Mike, you brought up a good point. Being from Ohio, and there's a better chocolate and peanut butter candy out there. Do people give those away in Ohio on Halloween?
Not normally.
I thought we said
Not
we weren't gonna do this.
But that was that's homemade. So I was gonna say also no homemade, no nothing.
Yeah,
homemade.
don't be the person that puts one.
Homemades are off the board. Like no one's giving the ball of popcorn draft pick.
All right, so
we were told to avoid those when we were kids. So
anybody razor blades in them.
They had razor blades. Yes, that was something that made the rounds, and I've yet to eat a razor blade from Halloween. Let me specify.
That was in the apples, wasn't it? The apples were supposed to have razor blades.
Yeah, razor blade apples was a big thing.
I got fed a razor blade by my ex-girlfriend. I actually ate that once, but anyway.
Real quick before we move on, Mike, we're by Florida law, we're obligated to tell you that we're recorded and we're putting this on YouTube video also. So don't do anything that you don't see on video.
Noted.
For training purposes.
Yeah.
Do we need official consent, or how does this work? Do we just notify and go?
He said noted. That's good enough.
We'll go with the James instant consent. He's here in the room.
So is it awkward if I get up to go to the fridge to grab another beer?
No, totally fine.
It's encouraged.
Yeah,
that's encouraged.
That's absolutely encouraged. All right, so with the second pick of the Halloween Candy 2 Dudes 1 Dad draft, RC, resident co-host, is going to select fun size Snickers.
You can just say Snickers. Doesn't have to be. Snickers is off the board.
I mean, unless you know somebody who's dropping full size Snickers, then by the way, throw that address out there. I'll bring the kids.
And so we had someone in my neighborhood that would only give my family, my siblings, and the siblings in our cul-de-sac. We lived on a cul-de-sac. My parents cared about our safety. That's why we lived on a cul-de-sac. But
that's the nicest thing you've ever said about your parents on this podcast, by the way.
That's true. That's true. But he would give us full size candy.
Love that guy.
His name was Mr. Willie. I wish, for the sake of time,
I bet it was.
His name would have changed, but Mr. Willie gave us full size everything. So
this is your second mention of Mr. Willie on the podcast. There was a story about you running into a mailbox or something one time, and Mr. Willie came up.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, Mr. Willie made an impact, if you know what I mean.
Did Mr. Willie sound like the guy from Family Guy? Hi, kid.
Oh, hi.
Giggity.
So Snickers is off the board. Snickers, that's another chalk. I mean, that's a blue blood.
I mean, the thing about Snickers is they win the combine, right?
So for me, Snickers is I would draft them before Reese's. Just for my
I'm the complete opposite. Snickers is super low on my board.
Well, and you also have to consider the funny commercials, like when someone's acting like a bitch and then they eat a Snickers and they're not a bitch anymore.
So far in this episode, Timmy, you've said the P word and the B word. You're just feeling.
I've been reading a lot of emails today.
All right.
I will say fun size Snickers probably better than full size, actually.
Yes, I agree.
Now, what's the logic behind that? I don't disagree or agree. I'm just.
Well, you can take it down in one. It's less commitment. You don't have to hold it in your hand for multiple bites, and you can just house it in one bite. And
do you ever consider eating a Snickers with a knife and a fork?
That actually might be one of the funnier things you said in this podcast.
How do you eat it?
I don't eat a lot of them. I've never gone the knife and the fork route, but seeing George Costanza do it on Seinfeld is one of the more powerful I've ever seen.
Well, his line on the episode was, "How do you eat it?" Nobody seemed to pick up the joke.
No, I didn't.
I got you.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks,
with the third pick of the 2 Dude 1 Dad Halloween Candy draft, John Dross, you were on the clock, and I just said your full government name.
It's all right. I feel like I'm getting great value here. I really do. I'm going Kit Kat.
Oh
no!
Overall, you're going Kit Kat.
Kit Kats they're good, man. You can't.
John, I got 2 sheets of notes here, and Kit Kat's not on one of these sheets.
Wow.
I mean,
I feel like Kit Kat's like a third, fourth rounder.
Oh, wow.
So I will say, Kit Kat's Wonderlic score was low. They didn't perform well in the interviews. I heard with a couple
third
teams.
overall.
Yeah.
That's why I drafted Brian Anger before Russell Wilson.
I will tell you right now, for me, Kit Kat just destroys Snickers. It's not even close.
Oh my God.
Kit Kat is the offensive tackle that flames out after like one team. They're terrible.
Laramie Tunzel. Kit Kat is the Laramie Tunzel of this draft.
John, if that was I can't wait to see the rest of your draft, because if Kit Kat was your third overall pick.
Oh, it gets worse. Trust me.
All right, let's move on. With Timmy, you're the fourth pick, and
all right. So as predicted, my 1A is still there on the board, and you guys have all been going chocolate. I think I can get value in chocolate later in the draft.
Okay, I know exactly what you're doing.
I'm going fruit flavors, and I'm going Starburst. I'm going Starburst fourth overall. Specifically the pink Starburst, but they're all good. Starburst. I think it's a tried and true, delicious fruit candy.
So, Timmy, here's the important question. I know you said most specifically the pink Starburst. Have you ever taken a pink and a yellow Starburst and eaten them together at the same time?
Oh, yeah, I've mixed and matched all of them. You can't go wrong.
I'm not a huge Starburst guy, but that is a solid combination.
So, Tim, I love the Starburst pick, but here's the thing about Starburst. You never know what you're going to get in those twin packs on Halloween. Yep. You open it up and you get a double yellow. I mean, that's good night.
Oh, no. For me, double yellow is great for me.
Well, that's the thing. Like, all Starbursts are good. I'm just saying the pink ones are the best ones. You're never you're not going to not eat the double yellow.
Double red, I wouldn't eat the double red.
I think a Starburst equates to like a one of the 6'6" like guards, right? Like they might be good, they might be bad, or it's like a tight end, right? You don't know exactly how tight ends are going to fare. They need to go through a couple years of the program, maybe some OTAs, maybe some offseason stuff, and then you'll figure it out. So, and not a terrible pick in your first round. Obviously, Timmy, you're building the program here, and you're trying to change the culture. So, with that, you get the next pick, because this is a snake draft, and if you know anything about snakes, they're slithery. And so, with the first pick of the second round, Timmy, you're back on the clock, my brother.
And I love it because I am getting my 1B choice here in the first pick of the second round. I'm going back. I am going the chocolate route this time. I'm going Twix. I love Twix.
Oh yeah.
The cookie, the caramel, the chocolate. Sometimes you scrape the chocolate and the caramel off and just eat the cookie. And it's just chef's kiss.
The thing about what you're doing right here is you're gonna be hard to defend in a couple of years, because you're gonna be able to run it inside. You're gonna be able to go around the ends here. You're gonna be able to throw the short pass and the long pass. You're building the roster. I can tell.
And also, it's a fun candy because it comes in twos, so you can give it to a girl. You can give it the other one to a girl if you're trying to get your flirt on. There's a lot of good things that come along with
usually when you're trick-or-treating, the only flirting I'm doing is with my mom to tell her, like, hey, can I get another dessert tonight? Get another piece of candy. The thing I will say, we were speaking about some things earlier with Snickers. I love the Twix marketing, the left Twix and the right Twix.
Yeah.
I thought that was genius. I thought that was genius.
Yeah,
but it's like socks. No one really pays attention to the left sock or the right sock. They just put them on their feet.
Yeah, it turns out they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Although the left and right socks, they do make like certain like Nike basketball socks. They do have the left and the right.
Compression socks. Yeah. I'm a big runner.
Back to RC here.
No. Back to JD.
That's me. All right. So
credit to you.
So I feel like my first pick was not well received.
You got to rebound here. You got to get some real value here.
All right, so I feel like I'm going to do that. It's not even a reach. I feel like this is a solid pick. I'm going Milky Way.
Okay, you're back. That's a great pick, John.
It's essentially a Twix without the cookie. Right. So I like the cookie. I like them both, but obviously you took Twix off the board for me. So if you're getting that kind of candy, I think Milky Way is the next best option.
John, that was my 1-3. That was my 1-3. That was.
I had a feeling you were going to go that direction.
Well, Milky Way is very Halloween.
Yeah, so very Halloween, isn't it? Like I feel like that's something that you don't eat all the time, but like right around this time of year, it tastes better.
And do you remember when we were like in like 7th, 8th grade? They came out with the new Milky Way. You remember that?
No.
It was pretty much the same. I think it was the same Milky Way.
I think John was in college, so he wouldn't know.
They dropped a all caramel Milky Way recently, and it is insane. Highly recommend it. Go get it.
Seems like a lot of caramel.
Oh, it's delicious. You can't go wrong.
When I was younger, I used to pair a Milky Way at the gas station. Right after school, we go to my friend's house. We go to the gas station. I get a Milky Way and an ice cold Mountain Dew, and I was in heaven after school.
Cameraman Mike, on a side note, what's your go-to like Timmy was just talking about gas station as a kid? You go to I think you guys up in Ohio called them like the Jiffy Store or whatever you called them. I don't know, but what's your go-to? Like if you're a kid, you're 7 years old. You got $3 or $4 from mom and dad. Like you got $2 to your name. What are you getting?
We used to ride up to a convenience store nearby. You guys remember those like giant Laffy Taffy bars?
Yes.
Yeah. The watermelon one that had like the fake candy seeds on it.
Oh, so good.
We would get like there was that one, and there was like another one that had like these sugar crystals all over it. It was very, very good. We would buy those all the time and then ride our bikes back home, you know.
I don't know what this says about my upbringing, but I was always a Doritos guy. Cooler Ranch Doritos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right in the cards.
No wrong there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And Mike, cameraman Mike, as you're talking about riding your bikes to the Jiffy and back to the Jiffy, I just imagine you wearing like some cutoff jean shorts, no shoes, just like you got some pegs on the front of your bike and the back of your bike. You got your boys hanging on your waist behind you, and you guys are like, hey, yo, let's get some of that Laffy Taffy rope. You know, let's do that.
Cameraman Mike strikes me as like from
John. Again, this is on video, John.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go get a beer. The listeners will appreciate it.
All right, go ahead.
All right,
yeah.
So with the second pick or the third pick of the second round, I'm gonna do something a little different here, right?
Oh,
I'm gonna go Reese's Pieces.
Okay,
that's fair. That's a different candy.
Yep, and I don't know, frankly, just to be fully transparent. Do you guys say Reese's Pieces or Reese's Pieces?
You said it right the first time.
You gotta say Pieces, right?
Yeah.
Like E.T.
No, are those the little ones that look like M&Ms, or are they the little peanut butter cups?
No, they're the ones that look like M&Ms.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys say it like E.T.
Is that how he said it? I've seen the movie. I just forget.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's good value there because you're pretty much getting the peanut butter, the Reese's, the tried and true peanut butter cup that everyone loves.
Right.
But what the good thing about those is they have the hard outer candy shell.
They have the candy shell, yes.
To stop from the melting that you're talking about earlier, which is key, I think, especially in the warm weather states that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, exactly. So, John, while you were grabbing a beer and putting the girls to bed, I went for Reese's Pieces.
Yes. Solid pick, but not great for me.
Yeah, well,
the debate on how to pronounce it is funner and more enjoyable than the candy itself.
Okay, you just said funner on national television. I mean,
I do that sometimes.
International at this point. All right, so cameraman Mike with the last pick of the second round.
Real quick before we move on, I want to drop a little fun fact. Almost every time I come to John's house,
John's house,
I come over to John's house. Grow up. I buy a bag of Reese's Pieces for his lovely wife Tara almost every time.
She loves them, and it's very Well, Uncle Timmy is always a favorite at the house. Tara's a big fan.
I'm a favorite because I bring their daughters popsicles, and I bring Tara Reese's Pieces.
And John beer.
And he very rarely brings me beer. That's the problem. Like, if you want to complete the trifecta.
I don't buy Miller Lite. I'm not an asshole.
yeah, you've got standards. All right, so Cameron and Mike, you're up with the last pick of round 2.
Guys, this is an easy one. Honestly, it's one of my favorite candies, and I think could have been a first-round pick. I'm glad it's still on the board. Skittles.
Wow.
Skittles is a first-round pick if there were 6 people in this draft.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great pick. Great value.
So
the square packs are the best.
I'm going to go out there and say the team I'm building doesn't have a spot for Skittles. I don't like the feeling on my teeth.
What does that even mean?
Like the sugar, we've got listeners out there that will agree with me. Hit us up in the DMs at 2 Dudes 1 Dad Podcast on Instagram. When you eat too many Skittles, you get a little grimy, like, sugar coat on your teeth, and I'm not there for that.
Now, okay, after 2 rounds, I'm telling you right now, Mike is going to have, if we're talking fan pandering, and I don't think he is pandering, but he's got 2 fan favorites right now with the peanut butter cups and Skittles.
Peanut butter cups,
Those are going to look good on the draft board.
Cameraman Mike is notoriously known as a man of the people, so I think it just comes naturally.
Well, Tim, I hope you didn't jinx me.
Drafts going so far. John going Kit Kat, 2nd overall or 3rd overall is pretty tough luck. But besides that, that's the only one. That's the only reach so far.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let the people decide. I say we move into round 3 here. Round 3, Cameraman Mike, you're back on the clock.
Well, guys, Tim, I hope you didn't jinx me. I could go off the rails here. This could go, I think I got 3 on my board. I could go many different ways. But you know what? I'm going to go for this one. It's a little bit of a wild card. It is very fall in terms of the flavors. It is the caramel apple sucker.
Damn it! I waited, and I didn't think I was going to have a problem. And literally, you took mine.
I gotta say, Mike, that was a huge reach.
No,
it was on my board. It was draftable for my board.
I'm not even quite sure I know what you're talking about.
Green lollipop with the caramel around it.
Oh dude, it's so good. It's like the green apple caramel swirl lollipop. It's amazing.
So here's the thing.
I've never had one of those.
So
it's a huge favorite with the kids.
Here's the thing, Cameron and Mike. If you can get this sucker, this lollipop in the weight room and really develop it, I think you have a championship team. But the rumor has it, the work ethic on the caramel lollipop isn't the best. So you've got to really work hard to connect with it.
I mean, that's why it's the 3rd round pick.
I've never heard of this candy before.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But to me, it's a lollipop essentially.
Yeah, it's a sucker.
Yeah, it's a lollipop. Yeah.
Lollipops don't belong in the 3rd round. I'm sorry.
It is the perfect. I mean, apples and caramel. That screams fall to me. So that's why it's there.
All right. Well, hey, it's your team, your draft.
All right. Well, in that fashion, I think I'm also going to go a different route and try to really develop some character and some hard work and work ethic on my roster. I'm going blow pops.
Oh, we are getting okay. There's a run on suck candies here.
This is what I also like to call college.
Blow pop. See now, again, I think that's too early for the 3rd round, but I do like blow pops because they got the bubble gum inside.
It's a dual treat. It's
2 candies in one.
It's 2 in 1. That's not. The more I think about it, that's a pretty good 3rd round pick.
So basically, I'm pretty sure I got Cordell Stewart.
The Lamar Jackson.
Very versatile. It's very versatile. The blow pop.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite flavor blow pop?
Well, I've got to go with the red outer shell with the.
Is that just like the bubblegum one or cherry?
Cherry, I think cherry.
I'm gonna go cherry. The cherry with the bubblegum inside.
I like the sour apple.
Yes, sour apple's good. You would love the caramel apple.
It's weird that
lollipop.
Timmy said sour apple and John's immediate response was, yeah, sour apple's good.
No, you would love that. You would love the caramel apple lollipop if you like the sour apple.
I've just never come across that candy that Mike talked about. I'm sure it's good. Maybe I would take it.
Hey, maybe there's a listener out there who'll send some to you, Timmy.
I would love that.
All right. So with the third pick of the third round, we're back to you, Dad.
All right. So this one, I can't tell if you guys think it's going to be a reach, but I think Timmy's going to love it.
So you know he wants to do it.
And so this is based purely on my kids.
Why did
recent
you say
success.
that, John? That's just leaning into the shit we give you.
Kind of why I said it. So big, very popular candy in this house for Halloween. Once again, we're talking Halloween candy, not favorite candy overall. Sweet tarts. Love them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing about sweet tarts, yeah, it's very Halloween. You think sweet tarts when you think Halloween. It's a very popular candy to give out. I don't think at the end of the night when I'm looking in my bag that it's one of my favorite ones, but I have a shitload of them.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. They're all
There's
over
another
place.
candy that I'm thinking about there, and I won't say the name and for fear of collusion.
Yeah. We would have to add
by the league.
Yeah. Sweet tarts, I mean, they're good though. I mean, I got nothing against them. I think again it might be a little early, third round. But
it's only a 5-round draft.
But when you're talking Halloween, sweet tarts are definitely in the picture because of how often you see them.
Yeah, it's a if nothing else, it's a function of just pure like abundance of being in your bag.
I think I know what candy RC is talking about, and he's right. You do see a lot more of those in the bag.
Yeah. I mean, sweet tarts and the candy I'm thinking about, they're 6'1" athletic cornerbacks, right? But the thing is, can they read the quarterback's eyes? Can they play the ball? Do they have both man and zone skills?
That's what's yet to be seen.
Yeah. All right. So with the fourth pick in round 3, Timmy, you're on the clock.
Okay. So
I hope real quick. I hope by leading the draft like I'm doing, I don't get an email from John Gruden.
I hope you do get an email. I'd love to have him on and really let them really air out his grievances.
Pretty soon he'll be available on Cameo, and we can just like have him send a video email. It'd be great.
That's great. All right, so with the fourth pick with round 3, Timmy, you're on the clock.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna go with another. I can't believe it's lasted this long. They come in all different size bags, little gummies. I'm dipping into the gummy selection category here, and I'm gonna go with Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Sour Patch Kids, delicious. You get a bunch of different flavors, although I think they're all the same flavor. You can eat the sour sugar at the end when you're done with the bag, and then also you can get them as edibles. So you can get high with them too. So they're again multifaceted, great candy. I'm going Sour Patch Kids.
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to look at the draft strategy here. Some of us are going ground and pound. Some of us are going throw the ball over the top. Others are building with defense first, and I think it's interesting.
I think what you'll see from my team, and this is my draft strategy going into this, is I'm building a full team. I'm not just building the defense. I'm not just building an offense. I got my quarterback. I got my skill players, and you might see later on in the draft that I might go a little tried and true, like a little heart of your team type of stuff.
Special teams, maybe?
I think all these guys are special. Everyone's special out there. You're special. I'm special. We're all a bunch of special fuckers.
Tim, before your next pick, I feel like we need to do a little disclaimer. That's what we mentioned to all the parents out there. Don't allow your kids to take any Sour Patch Kids from Tim.
Yeah,
I won't be giving away any of those Sour Patch.
And not to be too crass here, but cameraman Mike, the rational and responsible nature that you just exhibited there is exactly why we don't have you on the podcast more.
This is why I'm behind the camera.
Yes, because you are too good of a guy to be, coming at our listeners' ears once a week. And with that, Timmy, you're back on the clock.
Okay, so
hold on. So because it's October, it's scary season. We've got a little kid from Philadelphia here who's failed fourth grade 3 times, and so we're going to invite them up to do the draft call, and here we are. So with the first pick of the 4th draft, I can't read this. Timmy is on the clock.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm looking at my team, and I have, like I said, I've drafted the full team so far. I've got my fruit candies. I got my gummies.
All right, stop mansplaining us your team and just fucking draft. All right.
Well, I feel the need. All right, fuck. I'm gonna take nerds. You think Halloween nerds are always Halloween?
Yeah, no, that's not a bad take.
Nerds, delicious.
Your lack of chocolate is astounding.
I mean, you could say his team is not very athletic.
My lack of chocolate, John. But I have the best chocolate out. I got Twix. I don't need more chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let the
all I'm saying is your candy selection is fruity enough that John Gruden would not want to coach it. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
No, but also there's not a lot of great chocolate left out there.
You know what? Decent point. I think I'm going to surprise you with my next pick and make.
You surprised me with your first pick. You took Kit Kat. So
yeah.
All right. So with the second pick of the 4th round, John, Dad, resident, you are back on the clock.
Guys, I'm going tried and true, as solid and wholesome as it gets. Straight up Hershey chocolate bar.
I knew you were going there. I knew it.
Straight up Hershey chocolate bar. You can't go wrong.
I mean, it's chocolate, but it's the most boring chocolate bar of all time.
Yeah, but it's there. And you're going to get them, and you're going to eat them, and you're going to love them. Everybody does. If they didn't, they wouldn't have a town named after them. I mean, it's just Hershey.
I mean, you got to think for some reason they keep putting them out there because people are buying them,
No, so this is what I'm talking about. John is pandering. John's picking for what he thinks like the people like, not what he likes. Although he did.
No, I love Hershey. I love Hershey bars. I love them.
John, I can think of 10 better chocolate Halloween candies than Hershey's.
My favorite candy is Kit Kat, and I took him in the first round. I can't see how you think I would pander.
No, so you pandering since then. Well, just taking a Hershey bar is a pandering move.
Can I pull a John for a second and say that I've been to Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Hey.
Wow. Now, did you stay there for 3 days and call it you live there to work?
Hey, I got a paycheck when I was there.
So, John, I will say this about your draft. It's gotten much better since your first round pick. And they're polar opposites, though, of my draft. You have 3 chocolate options. I have 1. So maybe we'll work in a trade there at some point.
Hey, you know what? I'm open to trades. I'm
not interested.
All right, and before we get on to the next pick, we've got some things in the works here, so we're going to hold off on a second. I think Mel Kiper's in my ear right here. I think we have a trade. Oh, okay. So, rumor has it was just declined. So apparently, I just tried to trade with Cameron and Mike the swap picks. I was going to give him the 3rd pick of the 4th round, and he was going to return the favor with the 4th pick in the 4th round, and then the first. I
see the value there for him.
And the first pick of the 5th round.
Bad value.
I was also going to send some Cool Ranch Doritos his way. But anyway, so that didn't happen. So here we are. So with the 3rd pick in the 4th round, I am going to go with. I wasn't prepared for this because I was trying to trade the pick this whole time. So I'm going to go with the Payday.
Ooh. Not high on people's wish list, but good. But it's a good, solid candy.
It was on my board. It was on my list, but it's one that you don't hear a lot about,
Right. And I think
it's under the radar.
I think here's the thing. Because it played at a smaller college, you don't hear a lot about it. It didn't get the TV time. It didn't get the press. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to show up in the weight room. It's going to be at all the OTAs. It's not going to hold out. And it's going to be an old standard in your bag.
Right.
RC, to your point, whenever I stop at the gas station and get like a bottle of water when I'm driving around, I walk through the candy aisle. It's always there. It's always looking at you, and it's always ready to go. Like the dude grinds. Like he's there. He's going to be there early.
Put me in, coach. Yeah. While my coach is out catching fingers at the bar, I'm in the weight room, lifting and doing some other things. So
he's never going to make a Pro Bowl, but he's like a 12-year vet on special teams. The guy's going to be there. You can count on.
No, don't sell him short. He might make a Pro Bowl here or there, and he's not just a special teams guy. All right, so with the last round pick, who declined my trade, cameraman Mike, my bad.
Well, I even mentioned this candy before. It's nostalgia. It is 2-in-1. It's candy and a joke. It's the Laffy Taffy.
Candy and a joke. I like that.
Can't go wrong.
You get 2 jokes. You get a candy. I mean,
you also have the song Laffy Taffy.
No, yeah, and that's my only problem with the Laffy Taffy. I mean, based on its reputation in college, it was known to go off sides. And I just, it was shaky. It was shaky on the line. I don't know.
To me, so was that one of the candies where, like, if you were, in the age group where you're losing teeth and you bit into it too hard, you could pull a tooth out?
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah.
So there's a risk factor there with the Laffy.
There is.
Yeah.
Cameraman Mike's likes to live on the edge,
Well, I mean, it did transfer schools a couple times, so you got to wonder about its commitment.
It's kind of one of those last chance candies.
All right, so we're on to the last round here. It's day 3 of the draft, and we're all just been grinding at the desk. Mike,
still a ton of value out there.
Mike, you're on the clock, and some team's going to get really lucky out here today with a Tom Brady-like guy.
Well, you know what? It's the yellow packet stands out to me in that bag. Peanut M&Ms.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe peanut M&Ms last until the 5th round.
That might be the steal of the draft. That might be the steal of the draft.
Now, to be fair, that was where I was going to go here.
I can tell you confidently that there were 4 people in this draft that wanted peanut M&Ms on their team.
I mean, that's a great pick, Mike. That's nothing. One of my favorite things to do with peanut M&Ms is bite them just hard enough to get the shell to crack open, eat the chocolate by itself, and then have the peanut at the end.
Tim, I feel like this is a theme with you. We got Twix and peanut M&Ms the same eating.
Yeah, and you said you eat the cookie, just the cookie and Twix. I mean, are you a sociopath? Do we got to worry about anything here?
I like to separate sometimes, but it's also great together.
Wow. I mean, Timmy, I'm honestly a little worried for the roster that you're putting together and for the leadership that you've exhibited here in this draft.
I have a fantastic roster.
So I'm going to go, and I think this is what I need to do in order to put together a winning roster here on this draft. I'm going to go with the second pick of round 5. I'm going to go fruit snacks.
That's an awful pick.
Okay.
What?
So
I know what you're talking about. There's actual, I won't even call it. Is that a candy?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a gummy bear, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
So I mean, are you guys David Stern and gonna overrule my pick?
No, I mean,
no. I'll let you. I will let you pick that.
You're Dean Spanos drafting Ryan Leaf, is what you're doing. What the fuck?
Riley.
That's an undrafted free agent waiver wire pickup.
So should I go? Okay. Would it make you guys feel better if I went gummy bears?
No, you already picked fruit snacks. Sorry, bud.
You got a little specific. You got a little specific.
You know who gives out fruit snacks too is like the family that forgot to purchase candy, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what do we have in the cupboard?"
Yeah, because they have kids at home that they give fruit snacks for like their school lunch.
Cameraman Mike, as a guy with 2 kids, I will 100% agree because we got kids of our own, so we got to leave the bucket on the front porch. But when we make our second lap through the neighborhood, if it's completely wiped, we'll just grab a shitload of those and just dump them in the bucket.
Exactly.
So real quick aside here, and I want us to be honest. What did you guys do as older elementary, middle school kids when you came up to the house with the bucket that said that had the sign that said "Take 1 or 2 only, please"?
Dump the whole fucking bowl and go. There's no other play. There's no other play.
Were you, Timmy, Mike? Were you guys dump the whole bowl? Because I was also a dump the whole bowl. Like, well, you spread the bowl out amongst your boys.
Well, yeah, no, you don't dump the whole bowl in your bag. You all your boys take a handful until it's empty.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm eating, we all eating.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I mean, that's lazy. You can't expect anything else from a kid at that point.
Right. Just making sure we're on the same page. All right. So with the third pick of round 5, Johnny, you're on the clock.
Also, another one that I think is a steal of the draft, very Halloween centric. Fun Dip.
Okay, great pick, John.
Oh, that's solid.
Love that pick.
For the age range of like when we were kids, dude, you get some Cool Ranch Doritos, you get a Mountain Dew, you get a Fun Dip, you ride home on the handlebars of the bike, dude. That's a great day.
Yeah, because now I got diabetes, and
it's Halloween. All these candies are terrible for you. I mean,
I know.
But no, John, I love that pick. And again, there's a trend here going with me. I used to like to eat the white stick by itself.
Yes.
But also, you dip it in the sugar. It's delicious also. But
do they still do the candy stick, or did they like change it out to something stupid like?
No, because they were trying to save the turtle, so now it's a plastic stick.
Hate that. When it used to have the candy stick,
John, it's still the candy stick, John. He's fucking lying.
I didn't know. I haven't eaten one in years, but I love it.
How would getting rid of a candy sugar stick save a sea turtle?
And then replacing it with a plastic stick.
Right. Guys, we're getting into a political debate. We don't need to be a part of it.
All right, Mr. Irrelevant here, Timmy, with the 5th pick, or with the 4th pick of the 5th round, Mr. Irrelevant. This candy also wins a brand new 2022 Chevy Volt. Timmy, you're on the clock.
All right, so going into this draft, I had 4 categories. I had chocolate, I had fruit, I had straight ass sugar, and I had gum. And a gum has not been taken off the board yet.
Well, we have blow pops. I have blow pops.
But that's not just a pure gum. I'm going double bubble.
Oh,
I think that's a bad pick. I think that's
candy. No, when you think Halloween, that's the gum you get. That's the only gum you get on Halloween is double bubble, and you get 1,000 of them, and they last for 10 seconds at a time. But they're still delicious. That's a very riveting 10 seconds of flavor.
Double bubble's
John
great.
Would agree. John, you would agree with me. You get double bubble 2 times a year. It's at Halloween, and then you have the giant bucket at the beginning of baseball season. 2 times a year you get double bubble.
Yes. So I've actually provided the enormous bucket of double bubble individually wrapped pieces for the girls, for the softball team. It's rock hard to start. It's super soft and delicious for, like Tim said, about 10, 15 seconds. And then it turns into like literal tar. You can't even chew through it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. At the end of every game, there's like 100 pieces of this just spit out on the ground in the dugout. It's a classic, man. There's nothing better than double bubble.
Classic, like you said.
It's a classic.
When you think Halloween, like I go back to double bubble all the time.
Yeah, it's good. You can't beat that.
Yeah. So these are not going to be on our draft list.
Well, hold on. Let's recap. I got all the draft teams here. So I read down the teams just to recap.
Absolutely.
Fans here.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So Mike had the first pick. Mike started us off with Reese's Cups, Skittles, Caramel Apple Sucker, Laffy Taffy, and peanut butter or peanut M&Ms.
Yep.
Great. I mean, that's okay. Then we go dad.
It's a middle of the road draft.
Was
What
it
is
dad?
dad next? I was next.
RC next, right. Snickers, Reese's Pieces. Great start there. Then he goes Blow Pop, Payday, and Fruit Snacks.
It got ugly quick.
Dad started out tough with a Kit Kat that he probably could have gotten in the 5th round. Milky Way, sweet, but then he picked it up. Milky Way, Sweet Tarts, Hershey's, Fun Dip. Pretty solid there.
The back end of that draft was fair.
Yeah. And then myself, I went Starburst, Twix, Sour Patch Kids, Nerds, and Double Bubble. For me, I hit all my bases that I wanted to. I do wish I had another chocolate in there. We'll mention some honorable mentions here.
So you historically overvalue fruity candy versus chocolate candy, though. And that's not a bad thing. That's just your way of doing it. But so I think you overvalue.
Let's do this in no order because it is what it is.
Now we're just naming off.
Do we want to do some undrafted free agents? Each get one, and
I like that.
And because that's what it is. Once the draft ends, it's a race to who's left.
All right, I'm taking Tootsie Rolls.
Wow.
Ooh. They were on my draft board.
That's my chocolate that I needed to round out my team. I'm taking Tootsie Rolls.
All right, so do you like just the regular chocolate, or have you tried the other flavors like the vanilla and the lemon and all that stuff?
No, I'm just taking chocolate Tootsie Rolls.
All right.
Well, and again, like you think Halloween, those are everywhere.
They're all over.
So undrafted free agent. I'm going regular M&Ms.
I can't believe they made it to the UFA. Like, I mean, M&M. Yeah. It's one of the bigger candies in the country.
And they played at a big school. They just weren't flashy. That's the problem.
Agreed. Yep, 100%. John, I'll leave this to you, and then I'll finish off the free agents.
Wow,
it's probably best because I'm going to go with an off the board candy, but it's super delicious, and it's got a douchey name.
So I was going to go with like homemade cinnamon rolls.
The Ferrero Rocher, they're delicious.
Oh my God, no one's put that.
Dude, you never had one?
A Ferrero Rocher? It sounds like hooker.
It's got a hazelnut. It's got hazelnut with Nutella wrapped in like a chocolate ball. It's wild. It's delicious.
No, John, I love that, but you just tanked your entire vote.
No, this is unrestricted free agency time.
Like a decent draft around 2 shit pieces of bread.
All right,
this is unrestricted free agent time. You're just stabbing at shit.
John, will you spell this damn thing?
You stabbing at shit is how you got 2 kids. So here we go.
John, how do you spell what is it?
Rocher, Rocher.
I think that's right. I have no idea. All I know is I have a Costco-sized bucket of them in my house, and they're amazing.
Wow. Okay, Mike, go ahead.
I'm so glad I let John go. All right.
I think we could let John pick all 6 of his picks first. And we still
right away.
All right, so I'm going to finish this off with my free agent signing with Milk Duds.
Oh, no, I think they've been overrated since high school.
I mean, I think they're solid. I don't know if they're overrated or underrated, but they're there. They're consistent.
So I will tell this to our listeners. We're gonna put this up on a graphic. Go vote. We want to see you loud and proud. Share this with your friends. Get this Halloween candy snake draft out to as many people as we can. We want to see a record vote. We want to see record voter turnout. And we won't call the votes early. We're going to wait until all the votes come in, and we are going to let the people decide this. We're not going to let the Supreme Court do it. We're going to let the people decide it. We've already signed contracts with a couple voting companies to make sure that the dead aren't voting, or maybe the people in prison aren't voting. But we're going to make sure.
We should let the prisoners vote. I mean,
I agree. They're people too. But we're going to let anybody vote. Anybody with an Instagram account at Two Dude One Dad Podcast, follow us, vote there.
Burner accounts are fine.
Burner accounts are fine. If you want to cheat and create 32 burner accounts tonight just so you can vote, then I'll do that. I mean, you do that.
As long as all 32 of those burner accounts like and subscribe, I don't give a shit. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
But that's the other thing, Dad. I appreciate you mentioned that. Go to Apple Podcasts, like Two Dudes One Dad podcast, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. We'll mention those on the podcast. We'll talk about you. Go to Spotify, subscribe to us, get us some downloads. That's how we can continue to do this. But the last thing I do want to say before we do, if you have a segment for us, hit us up. 2dudesonedad@gmail.com. That's our email. 2dudesonedad, number 2, number 1, 2dudesonedad@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you. But one thing, fellas, I do want to know. What's your favorite Halloween tradition and least favorite? And we'll make this quick. We don't want to make this go on too long. But I have my least favorite already teed up, so I'll start. When I was a kid, I was a family of 5 kids, 2 parents, 7 total, whatever. My parents would bring all the candy together.
Oh.
Like I wanted to own the candy that I got.
I hate that.
Is your family a bunch of communists?
That's what right? Like, and they would put it all together, and slowly I would see the shit that I wanted to eat dwindle away.
You'd see your
that's how I realized that I'm happy
that I'm taken off the board.
What's that, Timmy?
You'd see your Reese's and your Snickers and your Blow Pops and your paydays and your fruit snacks just be getting scooped up.
And my M&Ms, yeah, just getting scooped up. And I wanted to eat those myself because I got them. I worked hard for them. I didn't need to give them to the government. Anyway, sorry. I just got off on a tangent there. What are some of your favorite memories? What are some of your least favorite memories from Halloween?
So one of my favorite memories, and it's for the wrong reason. It's favorite because when I look back on it, it's very funny to me. When I was at trick-or-treating age, I was living in Alaska. And in Alaska, it's very cold on October 31st. So we would get dressed up. I would be a ninja or a G.I. Joe, whatever the fuck I wanted to be for Halloween. And then I'd put my goddamn snowsuit on top of it, and we'd go out trick-or-treating.
Oh, jeez.
No one knew what the hell we were unless we had a mask on. Like, to all the people that lived in our town, we were just a bunch of Eskimos that were trick-or-treating. So that's my favorite and my least favorite Halloween memory, all wrapped up in one, probably because it's funny and it's also pathetic.
Mike, go for it, buddy.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't have anything crazy or off the wall. I'll just say, favorite memories is just growing up in a great neighborhood where we could walk everywhere, and it was parents didn't worry. It was me and the boys would just start up and down every street, row after row after row after row, as long as we could, and then back to the houses and dump out these massive piles. I mean, and just we had candy for months. It was awesome. Just great times every year.
Yeah. Also had a couple cavities in that bag and a couple diabetes and and everything else. My favorite was Mr. Willie, as we've previously talked about. So, John, I'll let you finish this up and we'll get out of here.
All right. So I look at it from 2 ways, being a kid and then like being a parent of kids. When I was a kid, my favorite thing in the world.
You've had sex before, man. We get it.
I have at least twice. My favorite was just like getting dressed up, hanging out with your boys. I mean, 10 years old, dressing up like a Ninja Turtle and running the streets like crazy. It doesn't get any better. It's amazing. Now as a parent, it's a little different. Like our oldest kid, she can kind of go off and do her own thing. We live in a good neighborhood. You can kind of let them run. And the 3-year-old, she needs a little help, but she tries hard. But we figured it out. Last year, all the wives in the neighborhood took the kids out, and all the husbands, we just sat back in the garage and grilled steaks and drank a bunch of beer. So my favorite Halloween tradition is a new one that's only 2 or 3 years old. I just get shit hammered drunk on Halloween and cook steaks and all kinds of stuff while the kids go and trick or treat. It's pretty phenomenal.
John, did you ever do the booze cart when, like, get the wagon and drag that?
We have the Daisy Rider red wagon deal that we just load it up and we walk around with it. And when we cross paths with other parents, we load them up with drinks. It's awesome.
What a giving, lovely community you must live in.
Yeah,
sounds like Pleasantville or something.
And we have a very good community.
And that's what I was about to ask: is the Halloween when you're a parent? Do you get to go to it would be perfect if you could go to houses and they would give you like a beer or a cocktail or something.
I actually have a great story.
In college, me and my buddies had a house. And we lived in a neighborhood that had families coming around trick or treating, and we did that. We had a bowl of candy for the kids, and then we were sitting in our front yard grilling hot dogs, drinking beers, and we were handing out beers to the parents.
Yeah, that's the move.
How long would each of us last if it was like a beer or a shot at every house?
Not long at all. Maybe a tenth of the neighborhood. So when the one year we lived in North Carolina, we had a keg that we, had like the big bucket with the ice all around it. We carried around in a cart. Say again?
Did you decorate the keg? Like dress up the keg?
No, we did not.
That would be funny if it was R2D2 and everybody
pumpkin.
Yeah.
So that year, Aubrey was a cop. Tara and I were robbers, and Olivia was very tiny. So she was the bag of money that we were trying to run away from the bank from. It was a whole big theme. But we carried a cart around with a keg in it. So every time and a whole bunch of solo cups, every time we walked by grownups, they would just make their own, cup of beer. We were very popular that weekend or that night. It was great. So
how long did it take you to finish that keg? Because you're not who you used to be.
About 24 hours. I mean, we had people, we were giving away a lot of them. I drank a whole bunch the night of, and then the next morning, Tara and I got after it pretty hard, and we had a couple neighbors come over and watch some football or whatever was on. It took about 24 hours, maybe a touch longer.
So last question, John, what are the girls going for Halloween this year?
I have no idea. It's already been decided. They've already been purchased. I have no clue.
Probably Frozen, Anna and Elsa or something like that.
Very similar. Halloween at my house is very similar to Christmas morning in my house. I have no idea what the girls are getting for either one of those things. I like to be surprised as much as they are, so I just act excited about it. I have no clue. And Tara handles all of that, and I just foot the bill, man.
You just approve the credit card swipe. All right, with that, hey, cameraman Mike, it was great to have you.
Very good, man. Well done.
Well done. Hey, your first time was your best. Hopefully not your best time, so don't think after me in college. And we'll see you again soon. To our listeners, go follow us. Go leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on Spotify. And make sure you vote, because we want to know who's got the best Halloween haul. All right.
Give us ideas on new drafts that you want us to do.
Yeah, if you want us to do a new draft, we'll do it.
One every month. So
we'll do one of these a month. But with that, we're going to get out of here. 2 Dudes, 1 Dad signing off. This is RC. We'll see you guys later.
Good night, Orange Park.
Night.